Alrighty. So without further ado, let's begin. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this Q&A session. Today I'll be presenting about the High School Big Data Challenge with our pretty little website link over here, nice and short and compact just for you. So you've all heard about this challenge, and in some sense you wanted to attend this Q&A session to one, get your questions answered, and to two, learn more about the event. Well, this year, our theme of the competition is, in short, addressing, identifying, and helping solve the problems of equality, of systemic and systematic issues in education. And truly, we want for the participants of our program to be able to use open data to help pave the path to true equality and true equal access in education. And at present, I think we're all aware of the importance of and urgency of social issues in the current climate. This year, we have had huge movements, including the Black Lives Matter movement. And with the beginning school year, we have all seen the challenges posed by having the sort of mixed education, either completely remote or with the healthy amount of remote as well as in-person education. And I could speak for hours about the issues related with this, and go into some data, but that is not the purpose of this session. So what is the timeline of this event, right? So students will register, but really, what are they signing up for? How long will this go on for? So here we can see, not to scale, a rough sort of idea of what students can expect. So the registration deadline for this event is October 20th. So we're coming up on that, just 2 weeks roughly. And following this registration deadline, we will send out a welcome package and information package to all of the registrants. Now, students can register as solo registrants. If they indicate it, we will be able to put them on a team so they won't feel too intimidated going into this alone. Students can register, broadly speaking, in teams of up to 4, but we do not require for you to have 4 full teammates to participate. This is entirely up to the students. And alongside this welcome package that we will be providing, we will also be providing a list of mentors which students will have access to. They may ask questions to them. As well, they can attend a 1-hour talk where each mentor will speak about their specialty, how they got to where they are, as well as answer any questions that you might have as a student in this competition. Now, in the first phase of the competition, we will be providing you with a series of learning modules, assignments, as well as workshops, and as I mentioned, these special mentor 1-hour presentations and Q&A sessions. And the goal here is to be able to provide students who don't have a background in data science, which at this level it is expected for you not to have any experience at all, such that you may be able to learn about the fundamentals of both statistics and data science. And of course, this will include some programming. And many of you actually will have some programming experience going into this competition. However, it is not required by any means in order to, 1, participate, and 2, do well in this competition. Now, it will help, of course, but the idea of this phase of the competition is for you to be able to learn about these things in order for you to develop a project and succeed. Now, once the learning modules conclude around Christmas time or so, then you will have this entirety until, the entirety of the month of January to work specifically on your project itself. And of course, we strongly recommend that you start right away when October begins, when the registration deadline concludes. But of course, we feel that in order to succeed in this competition, all you truly need upon learning these or going through these learning modules is about a month or so to develop this project. But again, I personally recommend starting as soon as possible, even if it's insofar as just doing some research and getting acquainted with the parameter space, the problem space. So then January 23rd comes along, in which you submit your project report. then you get a week break, so to speak. I, however, do not, because now I have to go through these submissions and send them off to professionals, right? So people within the industry, people within academia who can truly go through these and establish the cream of the crop, right? After which we will pick our finalists, who will be given a 10-day refinement period, over which they can refine the project, make it cleaner, as well as construct a video presentation which will describe their project. And finally, on February 16th, we will have Big Data Day, in which students will be competing and presenting against one another in order to, one, show that their work is the best out of this cohort, and two, compete for cash and academic prizes. Some of these academic prizes include being able to publish their work in the peer-reviewed STEM Fellowship Journal. We also have a few other surprises that will be coming in store, but those are yet to be finalized. And the idea with the Big Data Day, because will be a virtual event due to COVID, we will offer the opportunity for sort of breakout rooms and optional networking sessions in which students can have the opportunity to network with professionals as well as those in universities. And this can serve as a very good way for students to sort of get acquainted with the process of applying to universities and getting ready for that process. So what's the registration process like? It's not too hard. Like as mentioned before, at minimum, you need 1 team member to sign up, at maximum 4 team members. If you are a solo registrant, we will work to putting you in a team of 4 so that you can enter on a level playing field. But again, there is no requirement. Anything between 1 to 4 when you sign up is the way to go. Of course, we will have a small $5 registration fee, which we have put in place to sort of make sure that the people that are applying will actually follow through with the competition. As we found that when it was free, a lot of people would register, but not enough people would follow through. However, we've set this price point to be very, very low, right? So $5 for the whole team, for each registration. So that means that even with a team of 4, all that group would be paying is $5 total. So very, very accessible. Yes. So now the question is, what are the data and tools that we're going to be providing? Well, in terms of learning resources and tools, we're going to be providing you with a series of learning modules. And what does this mean? Well, in these learning modules, you'll have access to workshops that will teach you the fundamentals of data science. We've partnered, and we will be providing access to some of our partner groups, resources, including video lectures, in order to learn about, for example, programming, statistics, and so on and so forth. And these have been carefully curated and selected by our professional teams in order to give you guys the best possible experience. And in terms of competition data, we'll be providing you with a series of open data that you can use and access in order to create a viable project. However, we will not limit you to these data sets, and you will be able to use any open data you find online. As well, we will be providing you with Slack, a means to communicate with 1, your team, 2, our admin team, 3, all of the mentors, and 4, anyone else who joins the competition that isn't in your team. We found that this is the best for this sort of program, just due to the fact that it's very easy for us on the admin side to analyze and look at, and 2, very easy for students to access and use. As well as instant messaging, which is a lot quicker than emails. So it'll be a fun and great time. So what is key to this competition? Well, and what can you get out of this? Well, once again, we'll be providing you with a digital workspace in which you can work. And once again, this will include the Slack workspace. This will include a series of documents that we will be providing with you to sort of get your feet wet, to let you know how to access all the resources, et cetera, et cetera. We will be providing code snippet reviews. So for example, if you write up a script, we would be more than happy to review it and give feedback. You will also have access to communal advice, which means that you can post your questions in a general channel, and hopefully either your peers, the mentors, or us will answer it. And of course, if you want to message someone directly, you will have that capability, and there are no barriers to that. So I keep mentioning, or I have mentioned mentorship in the past, but what exactly do I mean by that? Well, we've been carefully selecting mentors over the past few weeks in preparing for this competition. And what these mentors are people who are established industry and academic professionals, right? So this can mean professors, this can mean data scientists, data scientists, and so on and so forth. And these people have volunteered their time to help guide students through their projects, as well as provide some coding assistance. Now, this doesn't mean that they will write code for you, but they will help you troubleshoot, and they will provide advice for this aspect. Now, we strongly recommend that you use the mentors and understand that they're volunteering their time, and they're volunteering their time, but they do want to help you. And as such, we encourage you to ask them questions during their 1 hour Q&A sessions throughout this period, as well as over Slack, and they will get back to you as soon as possible. Now, we would also like to try to pair up teams to mentors, but this will be highly dependent on how many students register for the event. For example, during the Undergraduate Big Data Challenge, which was held over the summer this year, we had a record number of participants, and we doubled our numbers. So the mentors were stretched a little thin. However, they were still able to communicate and guide accordingly. So yes, on top of this, we will also be providing some data science workshops, an example of which will be given this Friday for those of you who have signed up. Now, these workshops will cover the things going from basic statistics to data manipulation and cleaning to data visualization. And data visualization is one of the most important things that I feel that you'll gain from this competition, because it is a marketable skill that always wows people. So, for example, we've all seen some very not pretty looking graphs, and quite frankly, they're an absolute hindrance to success in both the workplace as well as academia. And we feel that this is a very, very valuable skill which students, which upon learning, you will have a step above your colleagues and peers when you're applying for things, when you're making your portfolios, et cetera, et cetera. As well, we want to be able to instill into you the sort of seedlings of research methods. And what this means is teaching students how to design research projects, even at a rudimentary, at a basic level. And this will help you going forward, whether or not you choose to go into academia or industry itself, right? These are transferable skills that can help you at any point in your career, in virtually anything. Now, we'll cap these off with sort of specialty topics, right? For example, machine learning, which is a very, very hot topic and a very fun buzzword to say. But really, the goal here is to guide you from the very, very basics of statistics all the way to something that can be perceived as more advanced. And really, our goal here is to show you that anyone can get up to these more quote-unquote advanced methods just with some just over the span of a few months with a little bit of hard work. And of course, we will be providing to you an overleaf/LaTeX workshop. Now, many of you will go, well, what is LaTeX, right? Well, LaTeX is, what is overleaf? What is LaTeX? And what overleaf is an online platform in which you can use something called LaTeX. And LaTeX is effectively a typesetting software specifically used for academic papers. Now, if any of you have ever taken a look at any sort of research paper in a large journal, chances are it was typeset in LaTeX, and For those of you who are looking to go into physics, math, or computer science, this will be extremely, extremely, extremely helpful in your work going forward, as it is the academic standard for research journals, as well as for typesetting your assignments at the higher levels. And even if you don't choose to go that route, this will be a good way for you to learn how to, well, adhere to standards, right? Now, why use it? Again, it is the absolute standard across academia when it comes to STEM, the hard sciences. How is it related to the BDC? We will be asking students to compile and make their project reports using this software and submit it to us through this online platform. So I mentioned that after the competition period, you will be asked to compete, or the finalists will be invited to compete at Big Data Day. And what Big Data Day is a finale event. As I mentioned before, in the past, it has been held in person, but due to COVID, we're not able to do that. However, we've had a lot of success in converting the previously in-person formats to an online format from the undergraduate Big Data Challenge and learning from that. So in summary, what you'll be doing is you'll be taking your scientific reports that are submitted in Overleaf. We will review and select the top 10 finalists from the western side of Canada and from the eastern side of Canada. You will then, the finalists will then be contacted and be asked to give these 15-minute long presentations. And in these after these presentations, students will be asked to defend their work in front of a panel of judges, after which we will be selecting the winners and announcing the prizes. And maybe if a miracle happens and things go very well and we're able to return to in-person events, we will be providing travel grants to those who would not be able to otherwise come to the finale events, pardon me, the in-person finale events. But again, we are planning for a remote competition, so this likely won't be a factor. So prizes. What are the prizes for this competition? Well, we have quite a few this year. Thanks to our partners from the UN. So CC UNESCO, they have offered to give us quite a bit of prize money. And what we'll be doing is we'll be giving 3 prizes, right, all monetary. For the first prize will be that publication prize that I mentioned, in which students will be able to take their work and publish in a peer-reviewed journal. The Kimberley Foundation has also offered a prize for transformative ideas. And what transformative ideas are basically ideas that are really, really innovative in the sense that they can help to transform the landscape, right, in education. And similarly, and we have a similar prize structure here. Let's Talk Science is sponsoring the event and providing an analytics award, where we will be judging the judging the projects based on how technically adept they are. And of course, we understand that you are all high school students, but that being said, we are more than happy to be judging you accordingly. And finally, we have the Arnold Chan Memorial Award for Student Innovation, and this is more of a general prize for which we will be giving $1,000 to the most innovative and most well-rounded projects. So by innovation, I mean things that are, 1, new and innovative. I don't feel that needs explaining, but 2, they are also able to be applied to a real world setting in a very easy, out of the box way. And this prize is sponsored through our partner of RBC, Royal Bank of Canada. So now we come to the last part of this Q&A session. So now that you've listened to me talk for this long, I am more than happy to answer any and all questions that you guys may have for me. And this can range from anything in and around the competition. So let me just stop sharing this over here and bring you back to my face. So first question, in the registration form, is the guiding teacher field optional? Yes, it should be optional. So if you do not have a guiding teacher, then you can fill this out simply as N/A for all the relevant parts. But I don't believe it is optional. But I do believe it is currently optional on the site. What is a guiding teacher for? the guiding teacher is effectively another resource that you have, right? So the whole point of this competition, this particular competition, is to be able to take the things that you are researching and bring them into the classroom. And because you're all high school students, you will have access to your own teacher who can potentially give advice to you in helping guide your project, because they will be, well, they've worked as teachers for who knows how long, and they know the field better than you do at the admin level. Can students from different schools compete on the same team? Yes, they can. Will the expectation be distributed based on the amount of students per team, i.e. solo team versus team of 4? No, we are judging all of the projects equally on equal footing. How much time commitment will we need to put in? Like how many hours a week roughly? So this is a very good question, and this entirely varies depending on how much you're able to commit, right? So I know that, so the whole purpose of having this competition, this program be over the span of a few months, is so that students won't have to sacrifice their schooling, their extracurriculars, in order to succeed in this competition. So realistically, if each member of the team is able to commit 2 hours a week minimum, right, 1 to 2 hours a week at minimum for this span, I believe that they will be able to succeed within this competition. However, it is strongly I recommend that you put in the amount of time that you are comfortable putting in, right? So maybe in the first couple of weeks, when all you're doing is going through these learning modules, as well as looking at potential ways you could design a project, you'll probably only need a couple hours a week, right? When it comes to later on in the project, when you're actually doing data analysis, then I would recommend maybe 5 hours a week per your team, right? Well, we need someone who knows how to code on Overleaf. So no, so we will be providing we'll be providing everyone with a template on how to use Overleaf. So really, in principle, all you need to be able to do is read the template and understand how to input text into there. So no, you will not need someone who knows how to code on Overleaf. You'll just need someone who can take the time to look over the template and copy paste, and write up whatever needs to be written up within the final write-up. And of course, we will be providing an Overleaf. We'll be providing an Overleaf workshop, which I will be running. And through this, I will be teaching you how to use the template and how to use LaTeX in general. How can we access the open data that will be provided? So the data that will be provided to you will be provided to you hopefully in the form of a CSV file, and in the form of several CSV files. So you can open these things in Excel. You can manipulate these things using Python, for example, R, etc., etc. So these are the data sets that we will be providing to you. However, we will also be providing to you a series of resources that provide data for free, which you can take a look at and download at your leisure. So is it okay if I have minimal coding experience? Absolutely. So we are not requiring, it is not a requirement that you need to know how to code, how to program, but of course it will help. But we will be providing you workshops and modules to teach you how to code. Do we have to use SAS or is Python okay? Python is absolutely okay. You can use whatever platform you want to do the data analysis. You can use SAS if you want to. You can use Python. You can use R. You can use Excel if you wanted to. I personally prefer Python at your level, just because it's a very easy to learn language, and there are a ton of freely available libraries that you can use to do your data analysis. How are teams assigned? Teams, well, so if you are a solo registrant and you wish to be put on a team, you will need to indicate it at the start of the competition, and we will be doing our best to place you into teams based on the information that you have provided on the registration form. So for example, if we see that there is someone that has a lot of coding experience, and we see that there are someone that doesn't have a lot of coding experience, we will be trying to put them together so that they can work together and hopefully learn. Now, of course, we understand that at the high school level, not everyone will have any coding experience. And as such, we will be doing our best to support you throughout these months. So when you listed out SAS, Python, R, Pandas on your website, it means that we're only using one. No, pardon me. It means that we're only using one of those to analyze data. No, you can use whatever tools and however many tools you want. So for example, maybe you want to do data manipulation using Python. And then you're like, okay, well, I've done that. And then I printed it out in another CSV file with all the relevant data. Now I want to use R to look at this. And then you do that and you're like, okay, well, now I want to use SAS to plot it out nicely. Well, you can do that too. So you can use one tool, you can use as many tools as you want. There's no restriction there. Heck, you can even use a more advanced language like C++, right, or MATLAB or Fortran, if any of you know what those are. But the idea here is for you to use whatever you're comfortable with. And I personally recommend at your level using something like Python, because Python in particular has a lot of libraries that are designed not just for data analysis, right? Not just for scientific computing, but also for things like data visualization, for more advanced things like machine learning, et cetera, et cetera. For which languages will we get a module/crash course on? The plan is to have crash courses on, in particular, Python, R, and finally, SAS. The SAS workshop in particular will be given by professionals from the agency itself. SAS is a partner, and they will be providing a professional to deliver this workshop. When will signups be starting? Signups have already started, and you can access it from the website. Will the modules give us more in-depth information and instructions about what our project is supposed to look like? This is a very good question. I would say that these modules, how we designed or how they are being designed, is the first few modules will be teaching you programming and stats, right? If you just boil it down. We'll also be giving like assignments, right? So supplementary things to help you learn how to think about how to design these projects. And truly, the guiding of your research projects will be done by the students, right? We want this to be a very student-led endeavor. And what we want you to be able to do is be able to be like, okay, I see that there is a clear issue with this thing, right? I know, let's see what the data says about that. I look at the data. Oh, wow, this shows that my hypothesis was indeed correct and I have quantified it. Now let me think of a way to how I might try to solve this. And I'll give you a more concrete example, right? So let's say that you want to, or let's say that you believe, that you feel like, there are, even in the current day, there are still issues when it comes to, or rather there is a disparity when it comes to, there is a gender disparity in those who have access to STEM resources, right? And maybe this might be anecdotal for you because you see that there aren't very many girls in your physics class, right? Compared to your compared to another discipline like English, for example. And then you go, okay, well, let me look at some demographic data, which I can easily access on government websites. And you're like, oh, wow, okay. Well, I can see that there's been clearly a trend going upwards, but it is halted in the past 2 years. Let's see why. You Google what happened in the last 2 years. You're like, okay, well, this thing happened. Let me think on how I can fix that. So sorry for that tangent, that long explanation. The short answer to your question is the modules will help you learn all the basics of data science. It'll help you think, or it'll help you learn how to think about these sorts of things. And then it is up to you and your mentors to sort of design these projects. Will we have access to past projects or winners? Yep, yes, you will. We will be providing examples of things that have been done. you can take a look at the STEM Fellowship Journal to see the winning publications from the past. And if those aren't enough, you can contact the admin team and we'll provide you with even more information. All right, so as I wait for more questions to pop in, and again, this can be on anything, absolutely anything. We held a similar Q&A session for the teachers who will be involved in this competition, or those that are interested in this competition, and it was really interesting to see their perspective on this sort of thing. In giving my presentation and so on and so forth, they were actually really interested to be able to see exactly what students are capable of. So, and just to sort of elaborate on that, I really believe, or it is our belief at STEM Fellowship, that the youth are underutilized when it comes to doing research and things like that. And it might seem scary, like even the word research, right? Science, blah blah blah. Like it might seem scary to someone naive, right? But really, science and research is just a tool for people to be able to succeed. And these things aren't as difficult as people make them out to be, right? It's all a matter of finding something that you're interested in, understanding that there's a whole bunch of material for you to work with, and just contributing to pushing the bleeding edge of knowledge further. All right, since we don't have too many more since we don't have too many more questions, which is just fantastic for me, because it means one of two things, right? It means one, I've either explained so well that everyone knows exactly what to do, exactly what's needed, or two, it means that people are too afraid to ask questions, which tends to be the more honest thing. My pride aside, but if you're not comfortable asking questions here in the chat, I am more than happy to answer things by email at pretty much any time. If we filled out a section of our form wrong, how do we withdraw our form to fix the section? You will need to contact me, and then with the corrected information, and I will make note of these changes. All right, so we still have a few more minutes in this Q&A session, so I'm just gonna give one more quick thing of note, in that if you're interested, if you have friends that are interested, it would be fantastic if you would share information about the event itself, right? And even if even if you don't think your friends might be interested, just share it with one of your teachers, like your computer science teachers, your math teachers, your physics teachers, your social studies teachers, because chances are they'd be more than excited to share this on our behalf. Now, since no one's asking questions, I'll give a quick biography of myself. Oh, okay. New question. How will the prizes work with teams with multiple members? So these prizes will be split among the members equally. So after things have been decided, after the winners have been announced, we will be contacting the winning teams. We'll be asking how they would like to be paid. Generally, what we like to do is we like to split it evenly among the team. However, ultimately, it is up to the teams to decide how they want the prizes to be delivered. Okay, so now to my biography, if anyone cares. So who am I, right? I am currently the Chief Data Officer for STEM Fellowship. My background, currently, I am doing my graduate studies in theoretical nuclear physics. I am also working as a quantitative analyst and a quantum software developer at a company called 1Qubit. Their whole idea is how to bring quantum computing into the future, how we can apply it to real world problems like the financial markets, like health, like chemistry, et cetera, et cetera. And beyond that, I also have quite an interest in hiking. So, fun, well-rounded. But, worry not, this competition is indeed being put on by well-qualified people like myself. What approximate percentage of teams are accepted to compete at Big Data Day? Okay, so I can give you the stats off the top of my head for the undergraduate Big Data Challenge, which happened this past summer. I was not around when, or I was not part of STEM Fellowship for the last high school challenge, but I do have the stats somewhere. For the undergraduate challenge, which I was a part of and which I led to record numbers, we had about 524 participants. We had 180 teams, and out of those 180 teams, we had 15 finalist teams. So we have, we would have 15 over 180, which is 0.08. So roughly 8% of teams made it. That is right. Roughly 8% of teams made it for the undergraduate challenge. Oops. All right. And then for last year's high school challenge, we didn't have the team didn't have 524 participants, but it was a couple hundred. And out of those couple hundred, out of those couple hundred, there were 20 teams, so roughly 20 times 4. So that gives you somewhere between, let's say 4, so let's say 4 times 20, and then that gives you 80 people, 80 out of 200. That is roughly 40. So 40%. For last year's high school challenge, you'd have 40%. However, hopefully we'll have a healthy amount of participants. So you can expect somewhere between 8% and 40% of teams to be able to make it to the finale event of Big Data Day, just depending on team numbers. Alrighty, I'll keep this going for about 5 or a couple more minutes. If I don't see any questions, then I will likely just end it short. And if anyone has any questions, feel free to message me, or email me, and I will respond promptly. And this can be about anything regarding the Big Data Challenge, and frankly, anything about STEM Fellowship. I'd be more than happy to help. And, if you want to learn more about the potential paths you can take, just given my own background, I've done my undergraduate degree. I'm doing my master's, my PhD. I work in industry. I can help with any sort of thing related to that as well. All right, and finally, I will also be providing the slide deck, all of the slides that I presented, to everyone that was registered for this session. Yes, all right. Well, with that, thank you all very much for attending this Q&A session. I hope this has been insightful, and I hope to see you all register for the event. Thank you very much, and hopefully see you at the end of October. All right, bye everyone.